Testing. 1, 2, 3. And we're live. I don't know that I have to always say that, but just kind of reminds me that I'm alive. Got the dog at my feet, or one of them anyways. And he's still alive, so that's good. As many of you may or may not know, Neo here has lymphoma. And he was diagnosed with it back in the summer of this past year. And at the time of the diagnosis, it really didn't look good for him. I mean, we were thinking that he wouldn't last weeks. And here he is with us 6 months later. And he's pretty healthy. And the reason why? Well, there are two reasons. One is that we put him on a steady regimen of anti-inflammatories, a keto-like diet, very all-natural diet. I mean, he was eating basically human food. And then I think the big thing that turned him around was RSO, or Rick Simpson oil, given to him as a suppository. And Rick Simpson oil is a distillate of a cannabis plant. It's a distillate of the trichomes where all the THC and CBD reside. Those are the little crystals that you find on pot flowers or what they call sugar leaves. And so we make our own, and we also make something called rosin, which is a much more refined distillate using a high pressure and heat. It's a no chemicals way of creating the distillate, so it's very, very natural. But anyways, yeah, we brought him back for a second look a few weeks ago, and his tumors, some of them are gone, a lot of them are much smaller than they were. He still has them, so that's still an issue. But other than that, he's definitely slowed down, even for, he's only 2.5 years old, which is tough. But he still has some spark in him, and he runs through the woods with his brother Obi. They'll chase after deer and stuff, and he's doing well. Anyways, RSO, marijuana, cannabis, and the THC and CBDs as a remedy for cancer. I know I've seen a lot of other stories, not just dogs, but humans, people. I mean, Rick Simpson oil started with Rick Simpson wanting to cure, he claims that he cured his own skin cancer, and then proceeded to give away Rick Simpson oil to all of his Canadian neighbors that had cancer. And apparently, I mean, this isn't a scientific study, but a lot of these people have been helped by that. And then, of course, there are numerous documented cases and medical studies that, even by our government, that show that cannabis oil, or more specifically the extract that produces THC and CBD, is effective at slowing tumor growth and also triggering the cells to essentially commit suicide. This is one of many, many different medical applications that you can use this for. And of course, there are different types of THC and CBD with different levels of terpenes and other chemicals. I mean, when you extract the rosin from the plant, it contains anywhere from 80 to 150 different chemicals. They all kind of work in conjunction with each other. So, anyways, Neo's at my feet. He's a good doggy. And today, Today is the second day of trading in 2019. We just completed our Christmas and New Year's special for the artificial intelligence setups, and we added another 26 people to our client list, and so now we're up around a little over 75 people. We're trying to get in about 25 people per month. We started this in the beginning of October. That's about what we can absorb. And there was definitely a special where I had the training at a much reduced cost. I require the training for everybody that takes the setups. And that's so that they understand exactly what it's about, what the philosophy is behind it, understand the risk management philosophy, and understand how they work, and also best practices in terms of order types and how to set them up. And that's continually being refined. So everybody takes that. I used to offer it without it, but I realized that it wasn't the best thing to do. It was better to, and because a lot of people are coming in on this that are actually new traders as well as experienced traders. So you want to make sure that everyone's on the same plane, and that helps us in terms of support too. So we're providing a great deal of very high quality support. We're in in a private chat room. It's a Discord-based channel with everybody, all the subscribers, all the time. And so we hope to continually increase the membership around 25 to 35 people a month for the next, I don't know, 7 to 10 months. And I think that's when we'll hit our critical mass of people that we want in terms of the type of revenue that we're looking for, and also the level of support we can provide, very high quality support without adding additional resources to our company. And then we'll go from there and see how it works. I mean, if people dictate that it goes to a bigger thing, then we'll do that. But that is our goal, and we're well on our way to that goal. So very, very pleased and very pleased with the performance. I mean, that goes without saying. So and all the shows that I'm going to be doing from now on are going to be talking about trading, all the different aspects of trading, and also using a system like the AI setups as an adjunct to your trading, and for some people maybe the primary source of their signals. And then talk about execution, discipline, rules, overall trading philosophy. All of that stuff will come into play, and then we'll offer other classes as we go along to members that will reinforce those, and particularly when we start getting into the equity setups, and we'll start talking about trading with options. And yeah, this is going to be good. And the other thing that we want to do is expand it so that we're going to start offering a different type of signal too, a longer term signal. Currently, the ones that we offer are swing based. We avoid any kind of day trading. There's less opportunity. So these are swing trades, and the next version that we're working on is for position trades or trend trades, using all the same tool, the same AI, the embodiment, looking at patterns that go back 20, 30 years. So last night I posted the trades that we put out last night. We have one big winner, two near winners. What I mean by that is that they didn't hit their entry but came within a very small percentage, and if you had a larger account, that might have prompted you to get into those in a minimal way, adding positions as you get close to or beyond the entry. So not everybody got into those, but had they would have resulted in big winners. But there was an oil breakout that was a huge winner. There's a few currency trades and that are either flat or a little bit down. And yeah, so that's where we're at. Oil was a huge breakout winner. So my account is a little bit up. I think other people's is, a little bit up to up. There might be some people that are flat depending on how they did their execution. But for a very volatile day, I think it was a good day for people. Going forward, all the trades that were triggered. Now, we had, I don't know, something like 10 setups, and of that, about 5 of them were triggered. That's an unusually high number, but it's a good number. And they, all those trades, we give them up to 4 days, unless they've hit their target and exceeded it. Like oil, hit the target, blew right through it, actually got about 200-300% of the target. So that was a huge winner. Let's see. I can show you the oil trade. It's up here, right there. And now this was a breakout trade. The yellow line indicates where the breakout level was. I had published in the previous video all the different levels, the entries, and the target levels. So as you can see, it blew through here. Our target was right around here, about 1/3 of the total height of this, or maybe 1/2. And it went well beyond. Our target was like 47.16, but it reached 47.78. So that was $1.20, over $1.20 gain on oil. And one contract of oil, that's worth about $1,000, so it's about a $1,200 gain. Over here is the Swiss franc, and it triggered as well. And it's been, for the past couple of hours, has been degrading. All right, so that we're down on that one. The Aussie dollar, it's about flat. It's right behind me. I'm actually up in it because when it came time for the trade, it blasted through the entry, and so I got a position down here, right where it bottomed out on that blast through. And so right now I am up a little bit, but if you look at the overall trade, had you gotten in right at the entry point, you might be down a couple of ticks. The Japanese yen, it's kind of like the same situation as the Aussie dollar, where it blasted through. And now it's down some. It's down significantly, but not down enough to wipe out the oil. As a matter of fact, the oil has trumped that. So, like I said, we give these things 4 days, and the cool part about this is that all of these trades, they work in unison, and as we do new setups tonight, they will add to these trades. They will be non-correlated to these trades. Some will be up, some will be down. In general, most of them are up, and most of them end up in profit. So far, we've had 90% of them end up in profit, 70% of them reaching their targets. And in this case, if you looked at each one of these, the targets are the purple line. The cyan line is the entry. So you can see down below here, the euro. It came up to the entry within a few ticks and didn't quite hit the entry, then came down. Now, there are some people that play, that have bigger accounts, that might have gotten into this with a small position, expecting to then build into the position as it hit the entry and beyond. But so there are a couple of people that actually made out on this trade fantastically, but most people didn't get the opportunity to get into this trade. So after today's session, this trade will be off the table. And we have kind of a similar situation with the S&P 400 mid-cap. It came down almost down to the entry and then came up sharply. But again, to us, that's not an official entered trade, so that will go off. And of course, oil went straight through. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. Yeah, and that's about it. None of these others have. Well, this is the bond trade, the 10-year bond, and we're just it's essentially flat. It's a few ticks above flat, and I actually got in up here, so I'm profitable on this trade. So the way I look at this is if we move through an area very, very quickly, then I might end up getting up here or add to the trade. But we're only in the second day for this trade. So we still have, well, we're in the second day, so we still have 2 more sessions to work this out. So we're looking forward to that coming into profitability, or, whatever. So that is the situation right now. Most of the trades are doing pretty good. They're setting up. We're out of oil and in a few currency trades. Looks good. Good way to start the year. Looks like we're going to maintain our record of not a single losing day yet in the room. How you doing, Dimitri from Russia? Let's see who we have here. We're going to try to ignore Casper because he's just trolling about cryptos. Jeff Buckwell. Hey, Ernie, long time no see. I was on an assignment in Oman. Wow, that's cool. Aggie says, I signed up last night, starting from scratch. All right, Aggie, thank you and welcome. Chris Rock. Hey, Ernie, very happy to hear your dog is doing well. That's awesome. Gabrielle Garza. Go, Ernie, thumbs up. A lot of these people are now members of the AI setups. Chris Rock, happy belated New Year. Happy New Year to you too, Chris. And Jeff says he's signing up for the setups at the end of the month. Cool. Yeah, now Canada is legal and Rick was shut down. Yeah, that's right. Rick Simpson was actually shut down by the Canadian government. Which didn't make any sense because he was actually giving it away. He wasn't selling it. He was making it on his own property. Chris Rock says, I believe cannabis kept my dad alive an extra year and a half. Got his appetite back. The chemo killed him in the end. Yeah, that's a tough story. Hit the like, guys. Thanks, Chris. Ernie, could I just use thinkorswim's automated conditional orders for the setups, or better I trade it with hand? No, you could absolutely do automated conditional setups. Order sends order, order cancels order, etc. Absolutely, you can. Tetherman.com Bubble 2.0. What a name. Casper is Tom Lee. He probably has the bobblehead going too. Yeah. Oh, yes. Bitcoin's going to go to 14,000 by the end of the year. Oh, it's the end of the year? I meant this year. Yeah, that's what I'm known for, Casper, my ignorance. So I'm going to be starting a marketing program very soon. I'm working on it right now for the AI alerts, and then we're going to move forward with that. And I hope that will maybe bring in more than 35 people a month. But we'll have to temper it. We're going to have to see how many that we can bring in and reasonably absorb into our support mechanism. Lao Tzu. Is the S&P going to continue its bounce, or will it go down again? Well, I am not a seer. But I did, in a previous video, show some analysis that wasn't all my own and probably antithetical to some of the way I think, but it comes from a guy that I respect, that the bottom is in. Now, he seems pretty confident with it. To me, it looks like it very well could be in. But a lot of this has to do with the sentiment that's being generated through the global macro political condition right now, and also the global macroeconomic condition. China is showing some contraction in their manufacturing. Europe is kind of flat. Looks like it might take off. I don't know. South America isn't doing so great. Asia, So we'll have to see. United States is still very strong. Lots of strong fundamentals, and it may carry the day. So I think we do go up. But it doesn't matter to me, really. As long as I have the AI setups, it really doesn't matter. It seems to work well no matter which way the market's going. So Casper's saying if I just would concentrate on crypto, I would see 300 new people a month. And he's calling 15K as the bottom for the Dow. One trick pony, man. See, we can't do crypto right now in the AI setups only because there isn't enough reliable data and there isn't a long enough history of data for our artificial intelligence system to do its thing. We tried, but the data is too inconsistent across the various exchanges, and they're not regulated. So I really would love to do crypto. I really would, but the market's not big enough. It's not liquid enough. So for now, no crypto. Forex, futures, and equities, all the traditional markets. Oh, I have to get a new sign. Can't use this one anymore because that's gone. That's gone. The new one. These are the new prices. So we're offering monthly, quarterly, and yearly subscriptions. So the answer to your question, Casper, is that is correct. Crypto is useless to us because of the lack of good data and consistent data coming from regulated exchanges. We can't trust it. The data varies widely from exchange to exchange in both volume and quality. So really don't understand the affinity towards crypto. I really am having a hard time understanding. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've been in this industry for a long time. I understand the technology, I'm sure, better than all of you. Not all of you, but certainly these trolls that are talking on the chat. I know that for a fact. They seem to think that I'm ignorant of it, but they don't know. Apparently, they don't know my background. And I just don't see it. I don't see it now. Maybe in a couple of years. Maybe. Maybe. I think it's a good bet, to at least put some of your portfolio in crypto if it comes down a little bit more. But there's just no way to tell what is going to survive over the next couple of years. I think Hashgraph is probably a good bet. They've got it going on. As far as cryptocurrencies, that is a really tough one. I mean, obviously, Bitcoin is the leader. But, and it has the widest holdings, most number of wallets, greatest number of transactions, etc., etc. But it has some serious flaws that I don't believe will allow it to carry through. And we're gonna see how that all manifests itself. I don't contradict myself. There's got to be some kind of way to limit how much Casper talks on here. But you're right in terms of the audience. Most people want me to... I'll tell you what. Right now, there were 15 people watching this stream. And I recognize it's the beginning of the year and all. Usually it's up around 60 or so. And I didn't say anything about crypto. So I'm going to do an experiment, and I'm going to say something salacious about crypto for tomorrow's title. And we'll see how that works out. And we'll attract a bunch of noobs. Use some clickbait. We'll draw them in and then reprogram them. And maybe that's the plan. We will start reprogramming all those cryptomaniacs. So I'm gonna make this show pretty short. There's no sense in going on with so few people. And apparently this title is certainly not doing it. So I'm going to have to start getting very, very creative with the titles, and you'll see that, and we'll start really lighting it up. So I thank you very much. Thank you much, Lee. And we'll see you next time. Bye.